Why is explicit return important for JavaScript functions? Imagine writing a recipe and forgetting to tell someone what the final dish should look like. That's what happens when you don't use explicit returns in JavaScript functions. When you write a function, you want to control what it gives back after it does its job. Using the return keyword makes that clear. Without it, your function might give back nothing or undefined, which can cause bugs or unexpected results. Explicit returns help others understand what your function is supposed to do. If you have a function that adds to numbers, you want it to return that sum. When you see return in the code, you instantly know what value to expect. This clarity is especially useful when your functions get more complicated or when working with a team. It keeps everyone on the same page. In JavaScript, if you don't write a return statement, the function automatically returns undefined. This is true for regular functions and arrow functions. For arrow functions with curly braces, you must write return explicitly. Otherwise, they will also return undefined. This can trip you up if you forget, leading to bugs that are hard to find. Explicit returns also make it easier to change your code later. If you decide to modify a function, knowing exactly what it returns helps prevent accidental mistakes. For example, if a function is meant to return a number but starts returning a string, an explicit return can catch that inconsistency early. It acts like a clear contract for your code. Another big reason to use explicit returns is for error prevention. If your function is supposed to give back a specific type of data, like a number or an object, explicitly returning that makes it obvious. If you accidentally change the return value, it's easier to spot because the code clearly states what should come out. Using explicit returns also helps with documenting your code. When other developers look at your functions, they see exactly what's expected to come out. This makes collaboration smoother and reduces misunderstandings. Especially in web development, where functions often handle data for user interfaces or server communication, knowing what a function returns is key. In asynchronous JavaScript functions, explicit returns are just as important. They help manage promises and callbacks by clearly defining what data will be passed along. When working with frameworks like React, explicit returns help keep your component logic predictable. You always know what your functions will output, making your code easier to maintain and debug. So, in simple words, always using explicit return statements makes your code clearer, safer, and easier to update. It's like giving your functions a clear instruction on what they should give back, which keeps your entire codebase running smoothly.